I'm so content in singlehood that I just want to put it out there into the atmosphere that it is a time of jubilee. It is a time to really get to know yourself in a way that nobody else can shake your identity. Because identity at the very core is what is going to attract other people to you, either for your destruction or for your edification. And if you're putting out there that you're needy, that you are desperate, that hey, you're just going to jump in the sack because, you might start dating after that and what's the big deal, then, you could be potentially setting yourself up for some problems. Not like we haven't all been there, or maybe some really goody two shoes out there hasn't walked down that road. Okay, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people like myself who are candidly going to express I've made some real mistakes. I've sinned quite a bit. Horrors. And I've done some things that I'm not really happy about. I'm not going to be divulging those. But what I am going to remember and share about is the recent past. And I'll back it all the way up to college because my cheerleading coach took this girl and her behavior to a level of public humiliation, which I disagreed with because it made me actually feel like hot and flush. And it was basically exposing her shame. It was saying, hey, you've been sleeping around, and what are you going to do to fix this? Because we don't want the reputation for our school or for our team. And the girl's response was, oh, it's okay because I have a steady boyfriend now. And I remember being like, what? What does that mean? And I looked at the cheerleading coach and she was on board with me because she was almost ready to blow a gasket. So all these years later, when I look back on that incident, I kind of get it. Because as a whole, if we aren't getting love and acceptance in our childhoods, then we're going to settle for anybody that gives us attention, affection, sometimes even negative attention. And that's where I'm wanting to kind of poke holes in this fantasy facade that opposites attract. Because in reality, that works for a little bit. If you're an introvert and you attract an extrovert, then you kind of can be that yin and the yang thing that people go after. You can complement each other if one person is extremely patient and the other one not so much. But they really do dumb down to getting your own cray-cray in check. So if you still are reacting or struggling with abandonment issues or any of those such things that you did not receive in childhood, then you're going to quickly fall into the arms of somebody who you think can save you or complete you or make you a better person or just get you out of a rut or, take you across state lines so you can have a fresh start. And everybody knows that that was my story, and that didn't work. It just blew up in my face. And the reason being is because I was needy. At the time where I met the person who I just got out of relationship with, I wanted somebody that was going to dream big with me and that was going to want all the things of God with me, but hadn't yet decided that for himself. And everything comes down to identity, personal identity, and truth seeking. If you want, at this stage in your life, whoever you are, myself included, to continue to deny the fact that I have pain and struggle, then by all means, proceed by jumping into relationships. But you're going to have continuous struggles with those being fulfilling to you because in reality, it all begins with you. Okay, that being said, 4:44, that means breakthrough. We're going to have to ramp it up here. I was dating somebody who was younger. I don't really think that was the big deal. I think the big deal was, we each had our own addictions. I came from a background with, using food as a coping mechanism. Him having the issue with pills. And we know that the opiate epidemic is a huge one now, and that's its own little rabbit trail. So if we basically think that we can heal a person, then no, you're going to sink. And you're not going to swim very far before you get sucked back in to like some cesspool that's like a whirlwind and going to take you down. So avoid that at all costs if you first and foremost know that maturity is adaptability and flexibility. So if you're willing to risk it all and jump in both feet and, not sink to the bottom and start swimming, then accept that about yourself, because I'm that personality type, and that's what you're going to do. But as soon as you realize that maybe things aren't working, that you didn't really know what you were getting yourself into, it's okay to change your mind. Yeah. You don't have to keep drudging and treading water and hoping that something's going to change when there's comfortability in place. Well, this person allows me to react. At many times I was immature, I didn't adapt very well, and I reacted because I wanted to change somebody else so that I felt better. That's codependency, but it didn't work. Yeah, I'm the first to say it sucks. You don't want to do that. If you also don't realize that in this day and age with the whole online dating thing, that's basically introducing sex on a higher level. So everybody's having free sex everywhere. It totally negates the purpose of courting, because you can actually go into a relationship with anticipation for the long haul. If you want to look for a marriage partner, so be it. I would encourage it, because otherwise you're going to meet somebody who's putting on this facade that they're got it going on their little, I don't even know what it is. I don't do online dating. I'm afraid of it. And I just really have seen too many people have that blow up in their face. I mean, this person can create any kind of identity, any falsehood that he or she would like. And then you go out with them and you jump in bed the first thing. And then you're like, well, we'll date and see how that went off. Because if, it wasn't good, then it's really not worth seeing the person another time. And generally that takes out all the creativity of the long haul that you would have with a deep connected relationship. Because in actuality, if you can go out a few times and creatively dream and talk about your life's ambitions and your future goals and what you really believe about God, if there is a God, or if you don't believe in God, you hate God, any of those things, you would be able to have a strong undergirding that you can move forward with. But without that, okay, sex first is really just breaking a boundary that only really hurts you personally, and then it hurts the other person, because we're not really meant just to give ourselves away so intimately without being able to have a conversation. Conversations should be the thing that says, after we're married, hey, you know what? You really don't satisfy me in the bedroom. And can we talk about this? If you have this great relationship built on deep intimacy and connection, then talking and experimenting and changing something up in the bedroom happens quickly. Lickety split. Now, I'm only using these examples because this is what I see, this is what I hear, this is what my friends are coming to me and talking with me about, this is what I have lived through. And now, being a single person again and running into people who are more my age and they're not the younger person and they think they're bringing their A game, but they're still struggling with issues that a younger person would, that's a little fearful. Because I would expect you to have this time under your belt to have worked through some of those basic criteria of being a good mate. And you have to decide what being a good mate is for me. There's no question, it's always going to be somebody that loves God first, because I can trust that he's going to love me according to God's hierarchy, that leadership quality that says, hey, I can lean in on you. And I can trust that you're going to pray for me. That's my criteria. But you have to first have criteria. You have to say, okay, I want something more than just, a good time right now. Or if that's what you want, fine, label it, know it. But identity seeking, first and foremost, is what needs to happen so you can walk forward with that maturity.